Chanakya, he was going with his disciple, and then he stepped on a thorny bush, and one thorn stuck in his flesh foot, and he was very hurt. So what did he do? He went to the nearby shop and bought some jaggery or something sweet, a syrup. And then he brought that syrup and started pouring on the thorny bush. And his disciple asked him, "What are you doing? You could have as well just, cut it or removed it and done something about it." He said, "No, I want it to die from the roots. Let the ants go and eat up the entire roots of this bush so that it will never grow back again." So that is the kind of tracing down we have to do. The real cause of why we ended up in what we ended up in. And that is what he said, tat parimargitavyam. Follow the path, where it is coming from, where are the origins. And then yasmin gata nivartanti bhuya. And when you follow, where do you reach? What is the origin of it all? You are saying reactions are originating from actions. Actions are originating from some thoughts. Thoughts are actually generated by our company or our gunas, which make us go to certain companies. Who is the basis of all these gunas? Who sustains it all? Then you go to a higher knowledge. It all comes from a greater source. Drigadrishya viveka, rupam drishyam, lochanam drik. If things are seen is outside, objects are seen, eyes are the seer. Then if eyes become the seen, mind is the seer. If mind becomes the seer, seen consciousness is the seer. We remember that we did that. First thing, eyes see it. But eyes are not seeing it, because many times we sit in front of the book, our eyes are seeing the book, but we are still not seeing the book. Because mind is somewhere. Eyes are there, but mind is not there. So book is there, eyes are there, mind is not there. Now mind comes back. Mind comes back, intelligence is not there. So you don't understand what is written in the book. Intelligence is gone missing. So intelligence is behind the mind. And behind the intelligence is this consciousness, this ability to even be intelligent. The ability to even think or understand things is coming from a higher source. That is what I call it as electricity, which permeates all the bulbs and makes them glow. So this is the idea of, if you keep tracing back where this light is coming from that bulb, where this bulb is on the roof. And behind the bulb there is a filament. Behind the filament there is a wire. In the wire there is electricity. Electricity is not seen, but that is the reason why all this is glowing. So you keep tracing back and you will come to that ultimate source of all this tree. Then you will say, so you mean to say God is the reason for all these things? Of course, God is the one who creates generator, organizer and destroyer. God. He is the source of all. Then say, see, this is all God shouldn't be doing. See, had he not created this world only, where is the question of misery? See, our scriptures have only one word answer for this. Leela. This is all Leela of the divine. Real one who has realized the self will call it as Leela and enjoy everything. The Agyanis are the ones who will have all these complaints and doubts. So once you tasmin drishte paravare, once you know the truth, shiyante chasya karmani, vidyate hridaya granthi, all these Mundakopanishad says, you get rid of all the doubts. So I can't clear your doubts by explaining you through the scriptures. Your real doubts will be totally cleared only when you know the truth for yourself. How much ever I describe how the mountain is, you will not understand unless you have seen one. I can show a piece of stone and say mountain is like 1 lakh times bigger than this. Now imagine. How will you imagine a mountain? Or I show a bucket of water and say an ocean is 1 billion times bigger than this. You can't imagine. Scriptures are like this stone, a bucket of water and things like that, which is trying to describe the ultimate Purusha, Purusottama, but it cannot. That's why our Upanishads clearly say, Dato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa. So these scriptures are just giving us some indication. In fact, they're trying to inspire us to find the truth for ourselves. They are trying to create curiosity in us so that we follow this path. So the next line says, Tameva cha adyam purusham prapadye yata pravritti prasita pranani. Tama eva cha adyam purusham prapadye. Go back and you will go and trace whom? That Purusha will be at the beginning of everything, the source of everything. That ultimate consciousness is the source of everything. From there, everything has begun. You will finally trace it down to that Purusha. And what else? Yatah pravrittihi prasruta purani. From the ancient times, from where all these ideas came to us, pravritti. Pravritti means activities, all the actions they have undertaken. What is the source? Prasruta, from where did it grow and come? You trace it all back, Purani. Finally, you realize that in the long time ago, there was this Purusha, the Brahman, the consciousness. He or she or whatever it decided to manifest. And from unmanifest, it took a form. And we know the whole creation happened. And now we are here. how these trees, now go back to your rooms, go back to your classes, wherever, and then start thinking that how my thoughts are the reason for all that I do. And how my thoughts create actions, and actions bind me to reactions, and this cycle continues forever. And how do I get rid of this? You have to get rid of thought, then you will not feel like studying or working. You say that is also thought. No. Have the thought, but pure thought. How children can do this? Replace a lower thought with a higher thought. That is the first step. You take out one thorn using another thorn, right? That's how we remove a thorn from our foot. But ultimately, both the thorns have to be discarded. So one good thought has to be used to remove one bad thought. That's why in our education system, our satsangs, our ashram, we always keep you very, very busy, so that there is no time to think something wrong. All the time you have to think right, because all the time you are made to think right. And whenever little time you get and you get a wrong thought, immediately you should replace with the right thought. This is how you have to go on improving yourself. And who is going to help you? You have to help yourself. We can at best, take the horse to the water. Drinking a horse has to do. You can't do anything more than that. Education system, ashrams, satsangs, everything can be created, seva opportunities. But to control your thoughts and keeping them pure and sacred is your personal responsibility. Nobody can help you there. Because what you are inside, only you know. So this is the idea of this particular thing, that if you go on tracing the root of all the things, ultimately you will reach divinity only. But why this divinity got a little kind of modified or got a little dirty or pure is because of the gunas through which it was filtered. Like sunlight passing through a transparent pure glass is white. White in the sense is transparent, is pure. Same thing passing through a red window glass is going to look like red light. Similarly, if something is going through a dark glass, totally opaque, no light will pass through it. Then what happens? Everything is dark inside. So sunlight is not at fault. The window glass through which it has passed is the reason why it has taken different colors or hues. Similarly, the pure thought of consciousness is like sunlight. It is pure. It is not at fault. But when it passes through gunas, various gunas, then it takes different kinds of hues. Good boy, bad boy, okay boy, not so good boy. All these things happen only because of it passing through the gunas. And where are the gunas coming from? We have studied in the previous chapter and the previous chapter that from the avyakta, unmanifest chitta, all our memories, all our karmas, vasanas stored from ever, from there gunas have started coming, and from these gunas all these things happen. Then somebody will be very smart, they'll say, how did I go wrong in the first place? What was the reason? Had I not gone wrong in the first place, today I won't be in this situation. So who caused that? You say everything is done by divine will controls everything. So I am not such a good person. That is also divine will only, isn't it? Like that they will ask questions. These are those people who do not want to improve in life at all. They just want to find an excuse to remain as they are. And for such people, the best answer is like Buddha said. Somebody came and Buddha was teaching. Somebody said something and he was arguing. Buddha said, I am advising you, don't argue with fools. It's not good. He said, but how can you not argue? You have to argue and prove yourself right. Buddha said, yes, you are right. Go. Jnani, if you go to, he will stop. He will not argue. Bhavate nativadi doesn't speak at all. Because he knows these people are foolish. They will argue for unnecessary things. I'll waste my time and energy by even trying to explain to them. So I don't want to explain all those things. Once you grow spiritually, all the answers will be found. Vidyate hridaya grantischa. All your doubts will be dispelled. So that's the reason why you should continue to study Bhagavad Gita, because this is going to help you clear your doubts in some way. Finally, you will realize everything is perfect as it is. Krishna told long ago, I did not punish anybody, I did not reward anybody. Your own karmas are the reason for what you do. Now we know karmas are coming from gunas. Gunas have been developed over several births of our activities, associations, thoughts. So keep good companies, everything. Satsangatve nisangatvam starts with good company. That is the essence of the entire spirituality. Start with good company. You will finally end up with a good destiny. So children and youngsters and all people, of course, please make sure that all the time you're trying to keep good company. And if you come across bad company, please make efforts to run away. Till you have become a jnani, then nobody can touch you. Let 100 temptations come in front of you. You will not shake even a bit. But have you achieved that status? Have you achieved that spiritual strength? If not, avoid bad company. That is the best solution. Don't try to transform the world. Don't try to improve people. First, you learn to focus on yourself and improve yourself. To that extent, you can be selfish in spirituality. But somebody is very sincere. Generally, they want to learn, they want to be sincerely coming to you. Then whatever knowledge you have, you can share without any pride, without any egotism. But if somebody is coming to simply disturb your faith and disturb your thought process, create confusion and doubt, just avoid that. Don't try to transform them. Don't try to argue and debate with them. This is the best solution on spiritual path. It will conserve your energy and help you grow faster. Krishna also further says, how do we develop that kind of a weapon? Where do I get that weapon from? Asanga Shastra. Ashtavakra also says in similar thing. Dehabhimana pashena chiram bandhosi putrakaha bodhoham jnana khadgena tan nishkritya sukhi bhava. You have been tied down by this body attachment for too long. You think I am this body. And you are suffering with that idea that I am the body, and body has to be taken care, it has to be looked after, it has to be pleased. And this is going on forever. Body means body-mind complex, it what it means. So what do I do? You should, bodhoham, who are you? Find out that. And that is your weapon with which you can cut this bondage of the body and mind. And what will you attain after that? Sukhi bhava. You will attain happiness. Are we not doing everything in this world only for the sake of sukha prapti and dukha nivritti? We are doing. We want to get rid of sorrow forever and we want to enjoy happiness forever. But the forever part of it is possible only when you know who you are. So this is the idea. And so now Sri Krishna says in the 5th shloka, there are 5 qualities you must develop in order to develop that weapon, sharp weapon of detachment with which you can cut any kind of bondage, however strong it might be. What are those? He says, Nirmana moha, jitasanga dosha, adhyatma nitya, vinivritta kamaha, dvaindair vimuktaha, sukadukha sangyaihi, gachanti amudhaha, padamavyayam tat. Very simple. It says, Nirmana moha. Nirmana moha means, Nirmana means what? Mana means some kind of a pride and arrogance. Mana also means measurement. Manaka means standard or measurements of certain things. So what do? Nirmana means the way you are measuring yourself, the way you are defining yourself. I am this body, it has a name, I am this person who has educated, who is in such a position. So this is our measurement of ourselves, our definition of ourselves. We are wrongly measuring ourselves, and because of that we feel insulted or we feel dejected. Somebody does not give us the respect that we deserve or we think we deserve. We feel humiliated. All this is because we have an understanding of ourselves, we are so and so. So this kind of pride will disappear because once you realize in everybody, in everything, the same divinity exists. Outer covers are different. Then where is the question of being proud? So one who knows the truth, where is the question of measuring yourself or defining yourself as anything different from anybody else? You realize that your truth is one. Therefore your pride and egotism will just disappear. So nirmana will happen. Then moha, nirmoha. Nirmoha means without any delusion. Delusion is when you see one thing for the other. Many times, people get scared with their own shadow. Suddenly they feel somebody else is there on the shadow falls on the wall. So this is all delusion. This has been caused because of wrong understanding of things. Moha has come because of wrong understanding of things. So this delusion should be given up by understanding things in the right way. The first is get rid of your ego. Second is get rid of delusions. The way you think, you are not one but three. One, you think you are nirmana. The others think you are nirmoha because he is loving, he is compassionate, he is kind. And everything becomes a moha, you get attached. So that attachment and delusion also should disappear. Jita sanga dosha, you should be sanga dosha, the wrong company, wrong attachments that you develop, wrong associations that you develop, you should conquer that. You have to conquer that because it's very easy to get dragged into any of your attachments. And when I keep warning, see, you do some bad thing, your ego and attachments will be of one kind. You do good things, your ego and attachments are of another kind. Because the ego and the attachments and the ideas that come out of doing seva, it's much more sticky. You feel superior than everybody else. Nobody does any seva. Look at me, I do 1 lakh japas every day. I go and serve these many meals. I have work these many hours. This kind of ego is worse. So it's better not to do such service which leads you to more wrong understanding and moha and ego. So Jita Sangha dosha means get rid of the company of such things or such people or such places which creates in you these delusions, which creates in you ego. Join the company of the humble, the good, the noble, spiritual people. And that is why I tell me your company, I shall tell you what you are. Because birds of the same feather flock together. So get rid of the bad company. That is the first thing. Tyada Durjana Sansargam, I keep telling. What is the fourth quality? Adhyatma Nitya, ever interested in spirituality. Adhi Atma, or the knowledge of the self. He is always interested. I'm not saying should not be interested in his books and studies and sports and music. Interested in all, but from a different perspective. And more importantly, in Paravidya, they are very interested, such people. Anything to know, which deals with self or spirituality, they are very interested. They are all ears. But when it comes to spiritual lessons, why is it that I don't develop this kind of attraction and involvement? Many children ask this question. I tell them it is a matter of developing it with effort, again and again. Like you develop taste for new things by consistently putting efforts to Adhyatma Nitya. One day you will come for a satsang, you will not change. You have to push yourself to come for satsang on a Nitya basis, means continuous, regular basis, not in a broken way. Like a mother which changes the taste of the child's tongue. The child drinks milk, doesn't want to drink anything else. How do you develop taste for Adhyatma? By consistently joining the company of good people, reading scripture, doing swadhyaya. Even if you don't like it, like a bitter medicine, you have to take it. Because that is what is going to be good for you. Shreyo, Preyo, you know that concept. And finally, fifth quality, Vinivritta Kama. He has done with all his desires. There are no more desires left in this. Then you will say, what about the desire for self-realization? Mumukshutva. He said, Mumukshutva is there. Mumukshutva is not equal to a desire. Mumukshutva is a kind of an attitude. It's a mental disposition. It's some kind of an inner quality. It is not a desire per se. I call it as a burning desire to realize self. This is just to explain in the terms that you will be finding it easy to understand. So mumukshutva is a sense of urgency to realize the truth. And for that sake, you're ready to do anything. In the sense, you're ready to sacrifice the wrong things, accept the good things, and stuff like that. So this person is Vinivritta Kama. His desires are all done. Probably there is only one desire left, if you call it a desire, which is to know the self. All other desires have disappeared. Somebody, Rumi said, once I had 1,000 desires, but in my one desire to know you, all other desires disappeared, melted away. So that is the idea. To know God is the greatest desire or greatest idea one can develop. All other things will fall into place soon after that. So this is the idea of Vinivritta Kama, and this idea of being desireless has been told in n number of times in n number of our scriptures. The ultimate state of desirelessness is equal to Brahman, they say. Kathopanishad concludes finally, Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yasya hridishritaah athamartyo amruto bhavati atra brahma samashnute. When one's desires of the heart are done, there is nothing left, no more desire. Absolute peace, absolute calm, absolute purity is the status of that person. That mortal, so to say mortal, becomes immortal when then and there he attains Brahman. So you don't have to go somewhere to attain Brahman, here and now. How? By becoming desireless. If somebody tells you you'll attain Brahman then and there, if you do this and then you go there, they are not telling you the truth. Our scriptures tell here and now your right is to be Brahman, but the only obstruction is your desires. Unwanted, unnecessary desires. No, so what about the desire of building a new hospital and telling everybody to work for it? What is that a desire? So I always tell like that. Desire comes from where I am somebody. From there only desire starts. If you are nobody, where is the desire? So one who identifies with the body and the mind, such person's activities are driven by a certain desire. But the one who has no such identification, the one who is beyond that, for him it may look like his personal desire, but it is not a desire at all. It is what the divine has destined, decided. So that person simply becomes an instrument of expression of what the divine has decided. They don't, that is why it is said, in Bhakti Yoga it says such a person does not initiate anything. Such a person is not the initiator of actions. So how does he perform actions? How do actions happen? He simply instruments it, simply becomes a channel through which the divine works. So if a scissor goes and cuts a piece of cloth, you think scissor got up in the morning and developed a desire, today I want to cut a piece of cloth? No. The tailor came and said, I want to cut and make a shirt out of this piece of cloth. So he picked up the scissors and did what he wanted to do. So scissors did not have a desire. But somebody who cannot see the tailor, he may only see the scissors moving and they'll think, oh, this scissor is going on cutting the cloth. But a knowledgeable person will know, no, this is not scissors, it doesn't work on its own. There is a doer behind it. So the desire is not of the scissors, because scissors is just an instrument. Desire is that of a tailor who decided to make the cloth, cut the cloth and make something. So divine, it works through such people. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin, Krishna says, become an instrument. Such a person is vinivritta kama. He has no desire, simply lies there. Sometimes I tell, even if you wait for my command and without demanding or desiring anything, that also is spirituality. You are progressing. To remain as you are without getting restless is a very good thing. But then even that desire, no, give me some work, give me this, give me that. No, so that is what I say. Be an instrumentation of God also requires tremendous patience and not bothering God again and again. When will you use me again? When will you use me again? When there will be a need, I will tell you. Just be around and be quiet. So even those, they also serve who simply stand and wait. That is the idea. That is also, so Vinivritta Kama means not got anything to do, haven't got anything to do, then contemplate on who you are. That itself is a good work to do. Whole day you can sit and think, Aham Brahmasmi, or whatever the idea that you want to develop. So Vinivritta Kama, these 5 qualities are important. Nirmana, ego that comes out of our wrong appreciation of ourselves. I am so and so, I am great, or I am no good. That is also ego. That is also mana. I am no good, I am so useless. These kind of, both the ideas are egos only of different types. Simply be nirmoha. Don't get deluded, don't get distracted by the wrong identities, wrong ideas. Stay in good company, jitasanga dosha. Have the courage, have the ability to conquer this attachment towards wrong kind of people, wrong kind of things, wrong kind of companies, you see. Then Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama. Completely always be ready to understand, learn, engage in spiritual things, and Vinivritta Kama. Get rid of all the desires. Because desires don't die, we die. Trishnana Jirna, Vayameva Jirna. This is from the Bhartrihari's Vairagya Shatakam. Our desires don't become old, we become old. And we die. Our desires will remain. How do we know? Because when we are born again, those desires will simply come and continue from where we had left. So that is why we are born. Kama bhir jayate tatra tatra. Our Mundaka Upanishad says the one who has desires is born accordingly in different places because of the desire. If there is no desire, such a paryapta kama. The one who has finished all desires, he has nothing more left to simply exist as to express divinity through oneself. Such a person is never born again unless God decides to bring such a person back on earth for whatever reason. So this is the idea that you must do that, because once you know Dvandvair Vimukta, you become free from the dualities of life, the experience of duality, Sukha, Dukkha, Raga, Dvesha, Jaya, Ajaya, Mana, Apamana, all these opposites which exist in this world, Dvandva, you will get rid of it. And biggest Dvandva is what? I am different from God. God is that, I am this. That is the biggest Dvandva that we deal with, right? You will get rid of that also. Dvandair virmuktaha, we become free from it. Sukha dukkha sangyai, the pleasure and pain, sukha dukkha. That kind of status you will be freed from. Sukha dukkha means all the other pairs of opposites can be included in this, including that I am Jiva and that is Brahma. I am different, that is different. That idea will also disappear. Why? Because he becomes amudha. He becomes wise. Mudha means foolish, childish and foolish. Amudha means he becomes wise. So he becomes Amudha, and where does he reach? Padam avyayam tat. That ultimate destination he will reach, that ultimate state, which is avyaya. Avyaya means which never changes, never gets destroyed. Remember in the beginning he told the tree is of two kinds. Tree has two properties. One, it is Ashwatha. At the same time it is avyaya also. Avyaya because every aspect of the tree is permeated by the same divine principle. See, the screen is there on which you are watching me. Every part of the projection of the picture is permeated by the TV screen behind, isn't it? So to that extent we are permanent, to that extent we are temporary. Suppose program gets over, they switch off everything, I will disappear, the pictures will disappear, but what will remain? The screen. And tomorrow again we reconnect, screen will come alive. as if it comes alive when I come and it dies when I am not there. But that is not the truth, we all know. Likewise, divinity is the basis on which all the world is manifesting. But we only see the world because when the TV is on, pictures are on, we can't see the screen behind it. And how is this world? It covers the entire screen without leaving even an inch. So like that, this world covers the entire divinity in such a way that we can't see the divinity, we only see the world. So that is the idea, that is avyaya. So what happens? Such a person will see the truth of all existence as indestructible divinity, on which changing scenes or changing aspects, the ashwatha part of the creation is happening. So to this extent, hopefully we are clear. Again, he glorifies that padam. Always Krishna has done this. Whenever he talks about that Tatpadam, that highest self, he always adds a little bit more. Like a teacher who is so happy and he wants to glorify this idea. He says, Na tad bhasayate suryo, na shashanko na pavakaha, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama. There, in my place where I come from, Krishna means not the one who comes from Mathura or Dwarka or what. When Krishna says mama, he is identifying himself with the ultimate Purusottama, the highest self, the supreme self. He is not identifying himself with the body and the mind. That is why when he says Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga also, many times he has uses this mama or aham. That aham or mama that he is using is not identifying with the Krishna of Yaduvamsha, the Krishna of the Gopikas, the Krishna of Radha. This is the Krishna, the ultimate supreme Brahman. So what he says, in that place where I come from, where I belong, that my place, my abode, how is it? Na tad bhasayate surya. Sun does not shine there. What else does not happen? Na shashanko. So does moon shine? No, moon also does not shine. Then there is no fire or light which will illuminate it. So what happens then? How do we see things over there? How does that place exist? That place is self-luminous. Swaprakasha. It has light of its own. It does not need anybody else's help to know it. Suppose we are in a dark room, if there is no light. If sunlight is there, you will see who is who. In the night, moonlight will help us to see things. If both are not there, we light fire because these are the pre-electricity days. So then you light a fire, a torch and see things, or a lamp. He says neither fire, nor sun, nor moon. Nothing exists over there. Yet everything is crystal clear. Everything is known. This is beautiful poetry, that's all. To make you understand that in that awareness, consciousness, we know everything, but awareness, consciousness does not need anything to know it. It is self-aware. It is self-aware. That is the nature of my abode. Means that is my nature. That is Krishna is telling as a supreme Brahman. And this similar shloka comes in Kathopanishad also, Munuko, lot of Upanishads this way. Na tatta suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nama vidyuto kutoim agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati, it says. As it shines, so is everybody shines. In its light, everything shines, it says. It shines means that knowledge, that consciousness shines. In that consciousness, awareness, we come to know about everything else. If it is not there, we will not know it. We will discuss a little more as we go down further. But Krishna says the beauty of that, why should I know that place? Why should I visit that place? Why should I reach that place? Because yadgatva na nivartante. Our problem is punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Every time we keep coming back into different bodies, to different fathers, mothers, with different families, different places, and restart A, B, C, D, brushing, walking. What a plight it is, Somebody who remembers his past will be miserable. He'll think, I learnt all this ABCD last time when I was in part of the Gurukulam. No, that was last birth. You come back in a new birth and start again from ABCD. Poor fellow has to start again. What a plight. Jivatma's plight. That's why Krishna ensures that we forget everything of the past. So that we get excited about learning new things again. But all this we have learnt. Millions of births we have taken and learnt all this and experienced all this. Kastvam koyam kutamayata kame janni kometa. Shankaracharya. He'd sit on his head. Who is you? Who am I? Who is the mother? Who is the father? We have been here for so many times. This birth you became my father. Like in different dramas, you might have been given different roles. In one drama, somebody may be your husband. Next drama, he may be your father. Next drama, he may be your brother. Depending on the roles. So this is how we have been changing roles and coming and going. Giving too much attention and attaching ourselves to people and relationships is futile. It only leads to misery. But it does not give us freedom. So this is the idea. At the same time, you must do your duty too. You cannot reject saying that I am not a mother, I am not the father. You fend for yourself. No. In this birth, this role has been given. You have to do your duty. Discharge your duty. Karmanyavadikaraste. You do your duty, Krishna says, but with detachment. What is detachment? I know this body, this birth is a new garment, a new role, but I am the divine supreme self who has been here forever. So this is the idea. Once you know that, once you reach that, you don't come back again. That's why our scriptures say, Viveka Chudamani, Vadantu Shastrani, Bhajantu Devan, Kurvantu Karmani, Bhajantu Devataha, Atmaikya Bodhena Vinapi Mukti, Na Siddhyati Brahma Shatantarepi. Even in 100 years of Brahma, you cannot reach this status of no birth, no death, unless you have realized who you are. Do as many yajnas, read as many Veda Shastras, do as many karma kandas, worship as many gods. All this is not going to help you. At the end, you have to know who you are. That is the only way to realize and be free from this cycle of births and deaths. That is the basic idea of our all Upanishads. So Krishna has to say, the only way out is get rid of all your desires, develop good company, be ever interested in your spiritual progress, engage in good things, get rid of your wrong egos and identity delusions, and then what will happen? You'll get rid of the dualities of life with which you will be able to reach that state, that ultimate existential reality of you being the divinity, and from once you've attained that, there is no returning back. See, all other things can be reversed. We are a good person today, tomorrow we can behave badly. And our Kathopanishad says, Yogo hi prabhavapya yo, it says. Yogas and all these other activities, it has the inherent fault that it can one day be up, it can another be down. This we all know. We have our own days and moods. But this is one thing, the permanent change in you, no temporary changes. Therefore, you will never come back. Why? Because you have become permanently transformed. This is not some superficial change. This is ultimate change. Like I say, once Mercury is converted into gold, it cannot be reversed. It cannot come back and become Mercury again. It has been transformed. Like that, this transformation that happens to us by developing these good qualities and ultimately realizing the divinity is the permanent transformation. Therefore, I tell, please invest your time and energy in this. Why do you waste your time and energy in learning things which are going to be relearned again? Today, whatever science we know, tomorrow that will change. Again, we have to educate ourselves. So what I'm saying, everything that we know today will not be relevant tomorrow. But this is one thing, once you know that, you become that, there is no reversal. This is a permanent knowledge. It never gets destroyed. Therefore, invest in this knowledge. Become Adhyatma Nitya. This is the encouragement. Again, Krishna continues to glorify it, saying, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Mana Shasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Mamai Vamsho. All these that you see in this world, Jiva Loke, all the Jiva Bhutas, all the beings, sentient beings that you see, they are all my part and parcels. They are, in all of them, I am there. They are parts, they are my parts. I am there in all. Amsha. They are part of me. I exist in all of them. Can I say that the screen exists in every pixel of the picture that it is displaying today? Look at your big screens are there, right? There are small LEDs are there. In every LED, which is like a pixel, does the screen exist or not? It does exist. Every part of the picture display, the screen exists. So you can easily say that every pixel is a part of that screen. Screen exists like that. Every space, this room, that room, other room, all these rooms may look different divided by walls, but in all the rooms the same space exists. In all the bulbs the same electricity exists. So can electricity say, Mamaiva Amsho, all the bulbs? All these bulbs are nothing but a part and parcel of me. He can say, the electricity can say, if it can speak. It will say, I am only there in all of them, but I appear to be divided in small, small parts. But I am a continuous thing. How do we know it is a continuous thing? Because science tells us there is one flow of electrons everywhere. And that is what is causing all this charge. And that is why things are glowing. So to the outsider it may look like divided, but to the one who knows science of electricity, he knows very clearly this is one current flowing through all the bulbs. So he says, I am there in all. See, that is the beauty. Our scriptures say we are also God. You are God as you are. You experience good and bad according to the gunas and the actions that you perform. This is the chapter. So he says, I am only in all, Sanatanaha, I am eternal. Screen may come on and go off. And this says, pictures may come on and go off, but screen remains. So I am eternal. Bodies will come and go. I as the Atman, I always remain. We can switch off after all the functions are over. We can switch off all the bulbs, but we have not switched off the electricity. Electricity is still there in a potential form. The moment we switch on, circuit is connected, again the bulbs start glowing. So the same idea, I am always there. I am there in all states of your existence, in all moods that you go through, in all the situations of your life. One thing that does not change is my presence in you. How powerful it is. Somebody, one little girl I was talking, she said, in the night I get scared. I said, why? Because I'm scared of being alone. I said, but you are never alone. Who is with you? Swami is with me. I said, that's the truth. Swami not as a physical presence, but Swami as the divine supreme principle is there. So where is the fear? That is the idea our scriptures go on telling. Sanatanaha, forever I have been there with you. And mana, shashthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. But what happens when I enter you as a jivatma and energize you, I kind of power you to do things? What do? I use what? Your 6 indriyas. What are the 6 indriyas? 5 indriyas we know, karmendriya. In the sense he has summarized it. 5 basic indriyas, what Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These are the Pancha Sukshma indriyas. With mana, mind, which is the ultimate controller or the enjoyer or the coordinator of all these indriyas. So manas. In these 6 ways, Prakriti sthani. I exist as these 6 indriyas exist in the Prakriti. Prakriti is the previous chapter we read. Though there are 24 aspects, Sri Krishna has just summarized it as these 6 important aspects. And what happens with these 6 things, what I make you do, in the sense what the divinity makes us do, Karshati, makes us work in this world. Because we can't work in this world. How can a machine work without electric current? Suppose current goes off, your machine will simply stand there and do nothing. But whatever you are able to do is because of my presence in you. And how do you do it? You do it with the help of mana and indriyas. Indriyas means all the indriyas. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Sukshma, Panchendriya, Panchamahabhuta, Avyakta. All these you include in that. I only work through you and make everything happen. That's why there is no reason why you should think that I am the doer and feel pride. Where is the question of ego? Who are you after all? So you have to remind ourselves, we are not the doer, we are not the owners. We are instruments. Why should I get nervous and why should I lose sleep? I should not do that. Why? Because we are not the owners. We are not the doers. There is Mavai Vamsho Jiva Lok. He is there present in all of us. He uses our indriyas and manas and makes us do all the things. Makes us do means he allows us to do all these things. But if we get distracted and get into bad company and develop some wrong understanding, then we think we are the doer, we are the owners, and we develop great pride and ego and suffer and make everybody else also suffer along with us. This is the wrong understanding. So Krishna says, understand that I am present in all forever, and with these senses and the mind, which is the Prakriti, situated in Prakriti, Karshati, all the actions happen. Karshati iti Krishna also they say. The one who works, the one who attracts, the one who plows the field, all this is Krishna only. So here Karshati means attracted also can be taken. Karsha means I make this mind and senses get attracted to the Prakriti, right? All the things that exist outside. That attraction is happening because I am present inside. So you will say, so I get attracted to the wrong things. So that is also Krishna's fault like that. Krishna has only given you the power of attraction. He didn't tell you go and get attracted to the wrong things. There are sweets, there is garbage. Now fly decides where it goes and sits. So flying is its power. But going and sitting in garbage or a sweet box is its choice. So that's why to that extent we are free as jivas. We have some possibility of making choices. But when we surrender our indriyas and manas to Krishna, to the Divine Supreme Lord, saying that, thank you for giving all these Prakriti and all these things, but I think I am not capable of using it well. I surrender it to you, then the divinity takes over from there and you become a mere expression, an instrument of the divine. So that is the answer to the question that I raised last time. Why do I make mistakes? That also is done by Krishna only. Because without his presence nothing can happen. That also happens because of God. Then why I have to suffer the things? So this is the answer. See, God has given this ability for us to make certain choices. Mana, buddhi and all has been given to us. What we do with it is like father giving pocket money to you. Whose money it is? Did you earn it? No. Then how did you get it? Your father decided to give you some money. He worked and earned it. He gave you on your birthday. Now what you do with that money is your choice. If you go with your friends and spend it on wrong things, you wasted the money. You do dana or charity, you do good things, you will enjoy that punyam. But one thing that you can surely do with that money is you can go back to your father and say, thank you very much for giving me this money, but I think I'm not mature enough to use it well. And I know you will always give me whatever I need even before I ask. So why do I need to keep this in my pocket and worry about whether it is there or not there, whether it's been stolen or is it safe? It's unnecessary headache for me. You keep the money with you. If I need something, anyway I know you will provide for it. So I don't want it for myself. Similarly, God has given us mana, indriya, all these abilities, and all the Vishayavasanas are there. You just return it back to Him, saying you only use it as you decide, because I am incapable of it, I may make mistakes. Your problem is solved, God will take over, you become an instrument, expression of the divinity, and imagine impossible things will be achieved through you. We are a witness to such a thing, right? In 10 years, what has happened is because we have offered our mind, buddhi, ahankara, everything to that supreme divinity and said, you use us as you please, not thy will. And everything has changed. So this is the idea of Krishna using all these things and making us get attracted to things, at the same time making us work for it. Once we are attracted to something, we have to work to get it. So avidya, kama, karma, that cycle starts off that moment.